So just wanted to do a little bit on winter fishing, my winter fishing, because everybody's got their own versions of fishing, right? And nobody's right and nobody's wrong. And the temperature's certainly plummeting. Need to get the bivvy up soon and get in that bed and get a bit warm. Look, winter fishing is one of those things where I think we have to prepare ourselves mentally first. There's no point going out to a lake when the temperature's dropped and expecting fish to act in the same way as they do when it's warmer. So it's about, I think a lot of it's about psychologically preparing yourself for the change in behaviour of the fish. And a few things to take into consideration. I mean, for me, firstly, the obvious one, and nobody likes to admit it, but we're not going to catch as many fish. Okay, so just like you've got to admit that before you even start. But there are things you can do, obviously, to hedge your bets a little bit. The first thing I've done is tried to find a lake that's got good winter form. That's obviously should be your first step. So here I am at Pans Lake, just outside between Cambridge and Stevenage, I think the location will be classified as. And yeah, he's done a few fish over the last couple of weeks, to be fair. He's had a few 30s come out. They seem to be piling on the weight, so that's got to be my first port of call. Find a lake that's A, it's got half decent fish in, and B, that's got a bit of winter form. So here we are. The second thing, obviously, is always important in fishing, but even more so when the water temperature starts to drop, and let's try to locate the fish. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've just arrived, haven't got anything out the van yet. There's no point because I don't know where I'm going to be setting up. So the first thing we're going to do is go and see if we can locate some fish. Now, thankfully, the water here is gin clear. And because I'm here at night, we've got a relatively powerful head torch. We can go out, a bit of lamping, and see if we can find some fish. It's just a lovely backdrop to this lake. Just running along to the back of the lake. There's this lovely little river. It's crystal clear. Just trickling along behind the lake. Beautiful. Dropping off at the front edge of the trees. If I was a carp this time of year, there's a good chance I'd be up here. So I'm going to creep along. I'm going to see if there's any signs. So, I've just done 2 laps. I've had a good look round for the fish, looked in all the margins, all the snags, not seen a thing. Not seeing a thing, no bubbles, no movement, no clear spots. So it doesn't leave me with a lot. So the next thing, when I was saying about preparing yourself, the next thing that I tried to prepare myself with before coming was a bit of local knowledge. And just happened to know that there was one guy on here last week, had the lake to himself, understandable, and he was fishing this swim here. I know that he's put a bit of bait in, didn't go too mad, but enough, I think, to keep them in the area. If they're not in the margins and they're not in the shallows, and chances are obviously they're out in the deeper water where it may be a bit warmer. So I've made my choice for tonight. I'm going to fish this swim here. I'm not going to put loads of bait in. What I am going to do, might even on all 3 rods, I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to fish naturals, bought a few worms, maggots, casters with me, so I might even go with a little solid bag approach on a couple of the rods. After I'll have a little lead around, see if there's a couple of spots I can find, and put them on there for the night and see what that brings, because again, this time of year we all know naturals are what they're prone to take. Worms, maggots, casters, all giving off their aminos and attractants, obviously not spotting loads out and whatever, because we all know they don't hold much nutritional value, but the carp do love them. So I think for tonight, a little bit of particle, some naturals over the top, and maybe in a solid bag, but this is must be my choice for tonight. Good morning. So, very quiet night last night, which is again to be expected, like we were saying about psychologically approaching winter fishing differently. It was a bit cold, dropped down to about -2. Still not too cold to do the door up for me yet, but it was cold. No activity, obviously, otherwise you'd have known about it. So the plan for today, well, I did have a plan, but it's now changed because the sun's really high in the sky for a winter, and I want to see just how much of the light comes through onto the lake before I decide what I want to do. Naturally I'm going to look for a shallow area, because obviously that's going to warm up the quickest when the sun does hit it. So we'll wait, we'll give it another little while, maybe have a bit of breakfast, see how the sun affects the lake before I decide exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another lap, see if there is anything showing, and then make a plan. So as I was saying earlier, one of the things about winter fishing is learning to appreciate some of the stuff around you, because you're going to be catching a lot less fish. And I've just been sitting here, I've got my sausages on for breakfast, just had a nice cup of tea, and the sun's coming up and it's warming all the tops of the trees, and I've just been sitting here, and as they're all drying out, It's just caused like it was raining, but it's all the leaves dropping off the trees. And it might sound silly, but just sitting here with no computer, no work to do, no TV, and they go again, and just watching nature, leaves falling and the sun drying out the leaves are causing them. You can probably hear them falling. You can see them behind me. Yeah, just appreciating that kind of stuff. It's lovely. So, not a lot been happening today. Done another couple of laps. Been watching the water pretty much all day. There's been nothing to go on. No bubbles, no signs, nothing. The only thing that's happened about a little while ago, I had a big line bite, and as I looked down, it was literally right at the tip of my rods. And that's the only thing I've got to go on. I've got a rod down the end there on a spot that I know's done a couple of fish the last couple of weeks. I'm leaving that one where it is, and it's a marginal spot. And what I've just seen now is that I've had a line bite just off the tip of my rods. So that would indicate that if there's a chance of a bite, I think the margins are probably the way to go. So I've had the other two rods out, I've had them on spots in open water. So tonight, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and put some more maggot, caster and worm just in a couple of little marginal spots that I've seen just either side of my swim, and leave them on those spots for tonight. In saying that, again, the whole point of this couple of days, this 36-hour trip, is to talk about additional benefits of winter fishing, because there aren't as many fish, and certainly today it's been lovely. There's been lots of things I've taken from it. Just watching two robins chase each other around my bivvy earlier on. I got the swan in. There's a couple of swans that pretty much live on here, and one of them came in earlier, and I quite enjoyed feeding him for a while, and literally got him almost eaten out of my hand at one point, and that's always lovely, because quite often as anglers we see bird life as a bit of a nuisance, a bit of a pain, but sometimes it's actually nice to just sit and appreciate that bird life and that wildlife. So yeah, lots of nice things to take from today. The sun did come out, warmed it up a little bit earlier on, and so yeah, I'm going to drop the rods down in the margins for the night, and fingers crossed for a fish overnight. But yeah, I'm going to go and get them rods out now and see what the night brings. So that's it, it's the morning, one liner in the night, so no fish. Well, the rods are just about to be brought in, so unless they scream off now, no fish. But as I've said, that's winter fishing. Don't expect to catch, but you can hedge your bets. It's very cold. A couple of things that really most important, as I've said, there are still things to benefit from winter fishing, and appreciate those things. Bring yourself a hot water bottle, it's a game changer. Please, no naked flames in your bivvies. Don't care how cold it gets, and it got cold last night, believe me. Hot water bottle, it's the best thing. Get it in your 5-season bag. Layers, I've got 3 layers on under my hoodie this morning, and yeah, enjoy your fishing. This is now the worst part, as always, the packing up. But don't be afraid to get out there, guys. But at the same time, don't be disheartened. Many anglers over the years have got disappointed and disheartened in the winter, and it puts them off fishing. So relish the fish during the warmer periods when you are catching them, and appreciate the other things in the winter when you're not. Thanks, guys.